Hey everyone, I haven't seen you in about a month. I just haven't had time to film a video. It is a crazy time of the year and it is currently the 27th of December, so I have decided to film a combined November and December wrap up. I realistically don't know how much more reading I'm going to get done before the end of the year. I'm just going to go through all of the books that I read and let you know what I thought of them. In November I read 12 books and I started the month off by reading Alex by Sawyer Bennett. This is the first book in I'm pretty sure it's still an ongoing series. Sports team centered around a woman as well. Like, the guy Alex is very cantankerous. That's actually a really nice word to describe him. And he has to get like a basic image overhaul. So he is working with I think it's like an underprivileged youth thing, and it's a love interest. You know, it's like, you know what it is. I think I gave this like a 2 or a 3 stars. I can't remember how to film. I go away for a month and I just lose my mind. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I really did like this. I was going to continue on and read Crooked Kingdom, and then I got a spoiler for that and something happened in that book and my hair, there's something going on with that. Whatever. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and of course that was 5 stars. And I reread, this is the second time this year that I reread this, and of course 5 stars again. One of my favorite books of all time, Isla and Happily Ever After by Stephanie Perkins. My favourite. I read a book that was free on iBook, so you know I had to grab it. It looked sort of cool and it wasn't that good. I mean, I read 2 books in one day from this trilogy, and then the next day I read the final book in the trilogy and it was just, I don't even know. Like, it was pretty crazy. I would recommend it if you are sort of like, you know, into like ridiculous stuff. Called By Invitation Only. And then there is Sin Never Sleeps, and then All Fall Down. So the basic premise of this is that there is a girl and she, something's happened, a tragedy's happened within her family, and she's no longer part of this like super elite crowd. She does go to like a really expensive prep school though, and there's a girl who's throwing a party and they're like, you know, enemies, and she shouldn't be going to the party, but her best friend convinces her to go anyway. And then they go to the party, she meets this really amazing guy, and the next morning he is the prime suspect in a murder that occurred in the penthouse that they were at for the party. So it was like, it's one of those really like batshit crazy books where it's set in Las Vegas, you know, they're these teenagers running around without any parental supervision, there's just really absent parents and all of that stuff. So I mean, if you want something that's very dramatic and OTT, it's like, that's a good thing to pick. Next I read a book called Captive Prince by C.S. Pacat, I'm pretty sure. It is about a prince who is being held captive, funnily enough. He is double-crossed by his bastard half-brother, and he is sent to their like rival nation. He's given as the pet to the crown prince, and it's like that. It's a trilogy. I'm halfway through the second book, and it's not that they're particularly long books, but they are fantasy books. So it's like, I think that with fantasy books, I kind of just, I don't get nervous, but I can't like get into like reading it, you know, like you do a contemporary or a romance or something. So it takes me a lot longer to read those. Plus I haven't had any time to read lately. So there was that. Read And a Happy New Year by Holly Bourne, which was amazing. And you'll be able to see it in a future book haul. That was the epilogue novella of the Spinster Club trilogy. And it was really cute. I mean, it's a very short little book. It goes from the alternating points of view. So we've got Evie and then Amber and then Lottie. And it's just like what's happening in their life after they have graduated and they're in university. And yeah, it was just really cute. I gave that one 5 stars. Then I read Die For Me by Amy Plum. This is set in Paris, and it is an American girl whose parents have been killed in an accident, and she runs into a guy, and he seems to be always saving her from these really weird situations. So read Marie Antoinette Serial Killer by Katie Alander. Paris, it is a girl who is on a school trip. Antoinette is coming after the descendants of like her secret sort of inner circle, and they betrayed her. This book that I read in November was Summer of Supernovas by Darcy Woods, and I loved this book. I thought that it was so cute and it really reminded me of myself. It is about a girl and she is looking for a boyfriend. Like, I'm really into astrology and all of that stuff, and I will constantly say things about my kids. Like, I'm like, oh, it's just because Theo's a Cancer, you know, he really needs his mum. Or when Winter's being bubbly and bright and crazy, I'm like, oh, this little Leo like ray of sunshine, you know. So it was funny to kind of see that in a book and for her to be saying things that I would. So she's looking for a relationship, which is something that's always terrified her. Her grandmother is really opposed astrology, so she's like kind of like tries to hide it from her, and one of her best friends is like pushing her to get a boyfriend by the end of the year, and she meets this guy and she thinks that he is completely incompatible with her, so she's like, oh, like, you know, and it's really cute. It's a really cute book, and I would definitely suggest picking it up if you're into that. It's not any sort of magical realism or anything like that. It's just definitely all contemporary, but it's just a super cute little read, and I really enjoyed it. December, I have read The Girl in the Picture, but 3-star for me, I think, because it has sort of like, not really an unreliable narrator, but it does alternate between time points, and there's almost like a kind of supernatural element to it as well. So what happens is the most popular guy in school is found dead on the school grounds. They go to boarding school, and he is seen in a picture with this girl who had an accident a couple of, maybe like a year previous, and she was also the best friend of his girlfriend, but they're not friends anymore. Like, something happened, so it's really shady that he's like in a picture with this girl. And, you know, so like we go between that girl's point of view and then like the girlfriend's point of view, and sometimes like the murdered guy will show up. I mean, I haven't really explained it very well, but to me it didn't particularly stick out in my mind as something that was like, wow, this is a really fresh, new, different take on things. Also did a buddy read with Jen from Today in Jen's Library, and we read What Light by Jay Asher to get into the Christmas spirit. And it's pretty funny because Christmas is obviously very hot in Australia, and this is about a girl, Sienna, and she lives on a Christmas tree farm. And she's like, goes to California and meets a guy, and it's like insta love, and he's like had a mysterious past, like something weird happened. And I don't think, like, Jen and I both didn't really like this book because it hit the trifecta of like absent parents, clueless kids, and like ridiculous assumptions about people. I just felt like if you want to know how Christmas trees are packaged and sold, read this book, because there's like this like huge thing where she talks about like what they do with the trees, what they do with that, and I don't know, it really wasn't for me. But I mean, if you have read What Light and you liked it, let me know in the comments down below, because I definitely want to talk about it. You know, I mean, for me it was just a bit sort of iffy. There were things that I had problems with. I read a duology by Rachel Vincent, and the books in that were The Stars Never Rise and The Flame Never Dies. This is, oh, like, I guess what was going to happen from the blurb on the back, so I won't tell you what the surprise was, but I had a problem with this too. I mean, I loved Soul Screamers by Rachel Vincent. Like, I talk about them all the time. Like, they sit behind me when I film. So I feel like with Rachel Vincent, she maybe needs a couple of books to get into the flow of the story. I also read True Colors by Melissa Pearl, and this is about a girl. She's just a nice girl, you know, like just a girl living her life with like a guy who's like trying to get into her pants, and she's sort of a bit like, and then she goes out to a nightclub, which is something she never does, because, you know, of course, like these good girls in books, they don't go out to nightclubs, and a homeless man says that she's like a really nice person, and he touches her, and then all of a sudden she can see behind the faces of people. Like, we all have these like emotional masks that we put up, and she can see people's real intent through their masks. I know that sounds weird, but that's basically all that happens in the book. I read Lick by Kylie Scott. I'm pretty sure that she is an Australian author, so that's exciting, and I already have downloaded the second book in this series. It's about a girl who, this is a funny story, and it's kind of like life goals as well. She wakes up in Vegas, second floor, and she's like, what the hell happened last time? Like, girl, you know, we've all been there. And anyway, in walks this guy, and he's like really attractive, and she's like, don't I know you from somewhere? He's like, haha, like, you said that last night too. And it turns out that he is a really famous rock star, and she got trashed and just blacked out for the night and got married to this guy. So it's sort of their story, and what's gonna happen with all of that. It was cute. I mean, I can't wait to read the second one, because it is about another member of the band who I absolutely loved. He was like the comic relief throughout the story, so I'm pretty excited to read that one. The last book that I read this month, as well as filming this at the 27th of December, was Soulmates by Holly Bourne. I have read all of Holly Bourne's books besides one, which I'm probably going to be reading in the new year. And oh my god, this is the story of a girl been dealing with anxiety randomly, and she goes to a gig one night with her girlfriends and she meets this guy and they sort of just have this connection and they have a soulmate connection. And it's also intercut with, there are chapters of a research facility, and it's not a good thing when soulmates meet. When they're true matches and true soulmates, they can cause massive problems because of the emotional like electricity between them and all of that stuff. And it was, you know, a really cute take on things, and I just felt like, I think this was 500 and something pages. Like, it is a very, very long book, and I definitely think that it could have probably lost like 150 pages and it wouldn't have lost any of the quality of the story, and for that I had to give it 4 stars. That is everything that I have read in November and December so far. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to be reading anything else. This video is just crazy. I'm really sorry, like I've just sat down and realized that I haven't filmed in a long time, so I don't really know what I'm doing anymore, but I am going to try to fix that for you guys. You know in the comments down below if you have read any of these books, if you are interested by any of these books. I want to talk to you guys, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and give me a big thumbs up, please. I love you all so much. I will see you in my next video. Mwah! Bye!